Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome along to the wilds of Suffolk. I'm out here yet again in the woods near my home, going for a walk and doing what I do. If it's your first time here, welcome along. This is what I do. I walk along in beautiful locations such as this, and I talk about the things that are on my mind, things that are in the public consciousness, and give my thoughts and opinions on it. That's what I do. So for those 646 subscribers that are rejoining me here, thank you so much for being here. I can't thank you enough. Thank you one and all for joining me for the walk today. Now, for anyone that's spent any time on my channel here at all, I've been talking about these kind of subjects the last year, I suppose, on and off. But I have been involved in looking at conspiracy or, these kind of alternate subjects for a long, long time, most of my life, I would think. And today I'm going to be presenting something to you in a particular way for a reason, okay? So bear with me. I'd like you to suspend your disbelief for just a moment. Step back, close your eyes for just a moment. Take a deep breath and just let go. Don't close your eyes for too long because you're going to miss all the beautiful surroundings that are here. But just take a moment and just suspend disbelief for a minute. Listen to the words I'm going to say to you and then ponder them a little bit and decide where you want to go from here, okay? Okay, now just imagine, not too long into the future, maybe 5 years, maybe 10, technology is moving so quickly, right? I think there's a rule called Moore's Law, I think that's right, what it's called, and the rule is in computer science that the speed of chips doubles every year. I think that's right, in Moore's Law. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty close to the mark, okay? So technology is moving very, very quickly. We can't keep up with it, of course. Now, if you imagine, say 5 or 10 million years into the future with the technology that we're going to have compared to where we are now, I mean, we have virtual reality goggles now. You've seen those, the people wear the goggles and it looks like you're in a game. I've played those virtual reality games. They're awesome. They're good fun. And it does, in some instances, fool your brain into believing that you're there. In fact, there was one game I played at a friend's house where you put on the VR goggles, you sit in a seat. And I'm talking just a static seat, a normal dining room seat. And you look through the VR goggles and it looks like you're on a roller coaster. Now, you're sitting there in a seat in a lounge room and you're on a roller coaster, but you actually lean into the corners on the roller coaster when you're not even on it. So your brain can be pretty easily fooled by something that is so immersive. And that's just your eyes being fooled. Now, what's being worked on at the moment, what's the new thing that everyone's talking about is full immersion virtual reality. Now, full immersion means that you have a virtual reality suit. So you will have gloves, you wear a suit, and you can taste, touch, smell, feel everything within the game in the real world, okay? You can feel what happens in the Matrix, for instance, another way to put it. You can feel it with your body like it's real. So imagine, just for a moment, that we're a few years in the future and that we have full immersion virtual reality suits that you can actually enter a game, play it, and it feels like you're there. All right? Fair? Okay. So, in the future, when we have this virtual reality game that you can enter, imagine just for a moment that you are going to play this game, okay? You go there and you sort of get a brief introduction before you go into the game, okay? Now, the person who introduces you to it before you get plugged in, before you get switched on, before you enter the game, says to you, okay, you're going into a game, okay? It's going to seem real. It's going to look real. You'll be able to taste, touch, smell, everything that you can do right here, but you'll be in a game. Okay, there are no rules in the game. You can literally do whatever you want. Enjoy. And that's it. Then you pull on the goggles and you're in. You're on the game. Now, when you go into the game, you are overawed when you look around in the game and you see, and you can touch things. You can walk up and you can touch things with your hand. You can actually feel it in the game. You can feel it because you're wearing a suit that puts the pressure on your hand or whatever part of your body you're using. And you can actually feel, touch, taste, smell within the game. Okay? Okay, so you go into it and it's so immersive and it's so interactive. You can do anything, of course. There's no rules. Okay? Now, when you go into this game, it is so immersive that you get lost in it. Okay? And you start to believe that the game is real. Okay? That you start to believe the game is real. Now, remember what I said before you go into the game, the person who's setting you up says to you, there are no rules. You can literally do whatever you want within the game. It's your game. You make it up. You make up the rules in your game. But when you go in, you forget that because you're in the game. It's immersive. It's so brightly coloured. It's flashy. It's over the top. So you forget that you're in the game. And everyone forgets they're in the game. But then the problem comes that people who are in the game have forgotten they're in the game, have started to make up rules that they're imposing not only on themselves but on other people around them. Okay? Now those rules are self-imposed because they think, well, you know what? I can't really do all those. I can't really do the really crazy stuff that I'd like to do. So I'll just set myself a bit of a lower standard and I won't aim too high. And that way I won't have fun in the game and I won't feel like I've failed and, you know, it'll just be a bit of fun for me, you know. So they make up these rules. And not only do they apply them to themselves, but they also apply them to other people. Now, what do I mean by that? Oh, hang on, we'll keep on going with the analogy first because I don't want to get confused with where we are. So, you've got other people in the game who haven't forgotten they're in a game and who realise that there's no rules and who can take advantage of the game for their own benefit. In fact, they can take advantage of other people's games as well for their benefit within a game because they know that it's just a game. So the people who've forgotten it's just a game get so wrapped up in it and so take it all so personally because they forgot it's a game. All right? Now, why am I saying all this? Why am I saying all this? Now, when you're a child, I'll tell you my story. When I was a child, I said to my parents, I want to be on the television. My parents said to me, people like us don't get on the television, okay? And it wasn't my mum's fault. It wasn't my mum's fault that she said that. She wasn't trying to discourage me. She was just saying the rules as far as she understood them. People don't like us don't get on the television because as far as she understood, from the rules that she had always been taught, people like us don't get on TV. So she was right in her world, but not in mine. So when I did get on the TV, I called my mum right after the interview. I made sure my mum watched it, of course. I called my mum right after the interview. I said, hey, Mum, guess what? She was crying, oh, my boy. But the point is that people within the game will try and tell you the rules, but there are no rules. There literally are no rules, except don't mess up other people's games. You can interact with other people within the game, but don't mess up their game. They're playing their own game. Now, there are certain glitches, certain controlling and manageable parts within the game that you can influence for your benefit, okay? Most people don't know that they can use these things to influence their game, their reality, whatever you want to call it. They don't know about them. So because they don't know about them, they go through their life completely miserable. One of those rules, one of those glitches, one of those things that you can utilize is the law of attraction. Now, what's the law of attraction, I hear you ask? I've spoken about it before. Now, if there was Nikola Tesla who said, famously, if you want to understand the nature of the universe, you have to understand frequency, vibration, and energy, okay? Now, everything in the universe resonates at a certain frequency, okay? The things we experience as being solid, like, for instance, this tree, vibrates at a very low frequency, so it appears to be solid. You got it? Other things that vibrate at a higher frequency appear not to be so solid. You with me? Okay, so when we talk about the resonant frequency, we have everything resonates at its own frequency. Now, everything vibrates at a resonant frequency. So everything, let's just say that a Lamborghini resonates at a certain frequency. In order to get a Lamborghini, you have to be at a certain place to be able to attract that to you, okay? Now, whatever it is that you wanted to do within the game, whatever you want to call this, is available to you, but because you don't know how to do it, how can you do it? If you want to become a millionaire, let's say, how do you become a millionaire if you've never done it before? So you have to learn how to do it, but where do you learn how to do it from? You can't know, can you? But you don't know what it is to be vibrating or at a millionaire's mindset kind of way if you've never done it. You don't know what it's like to be a millionaire. How can you possibly act like you're a millionaire if you've never done it, if you've never made it, if you've never created that? Look around you. Obviously, where I am right now is not a good example of saying look around you, but you get the idea. Look around you at your friends, the people that you interact with, the people that you are in constant contact with. Are they at the frequency? Are they at the place that you want to be at? Are they vibrating at that frequency, that higher frequency of what you want to attract to you? So if you want to be a millionaire, how many millionaires are you surrounded by? Most of us surround ourselves with people that are at exactly the same place we are. They're our friends and our family and all that kind of thing. But are they helping you to get to where you want to go? Are they hindering you through their own rules that they've set themselves within the game because they were told by somebody else that those rules were real and they took it on and they owned those rules for their own? Well, now, I tell you this because in the process of doing these videos over the last about the year, I think it is, I have attracted to me, or I've started to operate at a frequency of attracting to me information and opportunities to do things and learn things that I've never seen or done before. Now, in the coming weeks, I will be doing some interviews with some very interesting people, with some very interesting information that I will be sharing with you all. I'm doing 2 interviews today, one with America and one with here in the UK. 2 completely different people, 2 completely different concepts, 2 completely different ideas, but both absolutely awesome people, and I cannot wait to talk to them. There's another gentleman that I've been liaising with, one of my subscribers, who I'm not going to yet talk about because I'm still trying to sort things out with him. That interview will be absolutely mind-blowing, I think, because it is information that I've spoken about before that I really like to learn. And he approached me, which I think is just awesome because obviously he's wanted to correct some things I've said in my videos. I think I've stepped out of bounds somewhere. But it is, the thing I found is that the more I put myself out there doing these videos and talk about these subjects, the more information opportunities come back to me for me to be able to experience the things I want to experience. So, the law of attraction. I've attracted to me that which I needed, which is awesome. And it constantly happens. It's a constant, it's non-stop. Every time I need something, it's always there. I'm blessed. I am truly, truly blessed. I'm blessed to be surrounded by this. I mean, it is amazing where I live. I'm blessed to be surrounded by this. I'm blessed to be surrounded by people who love and care about me. All you people here that join me for these walks is incredible. I'm surrounded by the most incredible energy that is allowing me to do things that I never ever thought that I'd be able to do. How amazing. How amazing. Now, part of this law of attraction, part of this vibrating at a frequency that you want to attract at, is your emotional state. Okay? So, we've all been talking about gratitude, and you have to be grateful for where you are and what you have, and all that kind of, that's important. It's very, very important. But you have to be at a place, in order to receive something, like being a millionaire. We'll keep it at that because it's easy to understand. Most people can recognize that. In order to become a millionaire, you have to be comfortable and confident enough to be a millionaire, or whatever it is that you want to do. I mean, I'm using millionaire as an example, but you get the idea, okay? If you're like, for instance, if you think that all millionaires are bad people, they're all corrupt scumbags, then do you really think that you're going to be able to fool your mind into thinking that you're a millionaire before you get there? Of course you're not. Your emotional state has to represent the vibrational frequency that you want to attract to you, or that you want to vibrate at. It has to be real to you, have to be true to you. You can't do something, you can't fool yourself into doing something if you don't believe that you can do it. Then we go back to the analogy of the game, the interactive game, the virtual reality. There are no rules. There's no rules. Look at it. You're in this world, this reality, this consciousness, whatever you want to call this thing that you're in. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you call it. It doesn't matter to me. Call it whatever you like. But you're in this reality. You're in this game. And there is no rules. Don't listen to everybody else telling you that there's rules, because there's not. The people who've done incredible things, challenging things outside of the ordinary things, really outside the box things, are not people that listen to people tell them the rules of the game. They didn't listen to anything else. They just made up their own shit. And so can you. And so can I. The only reason I've been able to do and have and see and be all the things and the things that I've wanted to do is because I believe that I can. It's because I believe I deserve it. It's because I don't have self-limiting beliefs in those areas of the things that I want to attract to me. Now, there's another thing that is happening. It's the most exciting thing that I think has happened to me in quite some time. There's a gentleman, or actually there's a lady I spoke to about 3 years ago about conspiracies. She was completely shocked when I told her. She went away and investigated it all. And since her and her husband have taken as their own and gone and studied much further than I have and got a deep legal understanding of the legal fiction, okay? Which is a bit more complex than I can explain here today. But let's just say your entire life has been a legal fiction. It's a fraud, okay? It's not your fault. Nothing to do with you, but it's all about your birth certificate and the maritime law, which I will be going into in depth, should I be able to get this gentleman on the phone with me and do a Zoom call where we can outline what we are doing for the whole of humanity. Me, some little guy who walks along in the woods and talks shit, is going to be able to deliver something to humanity to free us from the bounds that we've been bound by for generations. Little old me, who am I? No one. Who are you? In the coming weeks, as I do these interviews, I will keep doing this, of course. I mean, how can I not do this? I love being out here. I love making these videos. I love interacting with people. I love getting out here and talking and just breathing in the fresh air and just getting out and not being part of this whole lockdown culture bullshit. See this? No mask here. See this? No tooth here either. Why? Because I can't see a dentist. Why? Because I haven't had the... So you're going to have to put up with me missing a tooth for a little bit longer, unfortunately, folks. But in the next few weeks, I will be doing these interviews in addition to doing these videos as I walk out here as well. And as I present you this information, I hope that you start to feel the veil lift and start to see what this is that we're living in. Because as you see it, and as you can understand that you're part of a game that you can influence and interact with and change and alter and coerce and mold to the way that you want it to be, your life and your joy will be unstoppable. You are going to be in such a high vibrational state that your influence on the world will be so positive that we can't help but move beyond where we are. That sounds hyperbolic. That sounds crazy, but I swear to you, that's where we are. I'm so excited about the next few weeks and the next few months and the next year. The opportunities that have been gifted to me by the universe, universal consciousness, God, whatever name you want to use, is granting me opportunities because I'm changing my vibrational state to something completely different, to change the direction of my life. And you can too. So, it's a bold claim, I know, but I promise you I wouldn't make these claims if there wasn't something so totally awesome about what's coming up that it will blow your socks off. And I don't care how how cynical you are and thinking, oh yeah, the guy's talking out of his ass, he's just trying to get people to come back to the channel. No, not at all. It's not what I've done. I've never begged people to be here. I'm so happy that people are here joining me for these walks. But what this is all about, it's not about me. This is about sharing information and helping each other, raising each other up to a state where we don't have the fear. We're not held down by people who are trying to manipulate us in this game for their own advantage. We don't need that. So, join me. It's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be a very exciting time. I cannot wait for what's coming, and I can't wait to share it all with you. So please join me. If you think this is worthwhile, or the information I'm going to share in the future is worthwhile, then share it. If you like what I'm doing, like it. If you really like what I'm doing and you really want to keep up with me, then subscribe to the channel. There's going to be some interesting information over the next couple of weeks, and I think you're going to really take something from it, and it will benefit you and benefit the whole world. So as I've said in all my videos, go out and do something positive. Do good and be good. That's what I've been doing, and this has allowed me the opportunity to present you information over the course of the next few weeks that's going to blow your mind. Join me for it. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Go out into the world, do good, be good, and bring it here. We're going to change the world together. All right, thanks so much for being here. Love you lots. I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Take care. Ciao for now.